Hi, brothers and sisters. Father Frank Pavone here, National Director of Priests for Life, and I'm excited to bring you this broadcast today, going out on Facebook and YouTube and Priests for Life TV, because this is the first broadcast that we're doing with some brand new equipment that we have installed here in our TV studio at our Priests for Life headquarters. I'm speaking to you from our Florida headquarters, as I often do, but this time from our television studio. We have a TV studio, we also have a radio studio, and from these locations we will be serving the entire pro-life movement as we continue to broadcast life-saving programming for you and for all those with whom you can share it. And that, of course, is something that we are always asking you to do, to share these messages on your own platforms on social media. Well, brothers and sisters, it is 2018, and as you know, we've been talking to you very, very frequently about the midterm elections. I'm excited, and I think back to the inauguration of President Trump. There was a particular speech that I remember from those days very, very well, and it was from Newt Gingrich, former congressman and Speaker of the House, and he was speaking to a group of Catholic advisors to the Trump campaign. I was asked to be part of a committee advising both the campaign, and then it continued during the transition, and even now in the administration, it continues to provide informally an input to those who are serving President Trump and working on public policy. And Mr. Gingrich spoke to this group of Catholic advisors, and he said, you know, we are on a path now to reclaiming America, reclaiming the principles on which we are founded, reshaping our nation, its laws, its policies, its courts, to be in line with the values that we hold as Catholics and in the wider body of Christ as his followers. Starting, of course, with the fundamental right to life. The process, he was pointing out, does not depend simply on one election. We have to have a sustained period of time in which we have the public policy of this nation moving in the same direction. Now, you may be aware, and I've mentioned it before, that when President Obama took office, most of the federal courts, and we're not just talking about the Supreme Court, but there are a lot of federal courts just below the Supreme Court level, the courts of appeals and then the district courts. Most of those courts were under the control of Republican-appointed judges, and Republican-appointed judges tend to judge things in a pro-life direction, pro-marriage, pro-family, pro-religious freedom, different values and ideals that we know all too well have been so under attack in America. But by the time President Obama left office 8 years later, most of the federal courts were under the control of Democrat-appointed judges. In other words, he himself had the opportunity to fill so many vacancies on the federal bench with people who would think and judge the way that he does, so that you have more of these pro-abortion kinds of decisions coming out, decisions that do not recognize religious freedom, the sanctity of marriage and the family, not to mention a whole host of other issues. Well, brothers and sisters, now President Trump is reversing that dynamic, because he is able now to fill these vacancies on the federal court with appointments, again, of people who are, and he has said this explicitly, people who are pro-life and who judge according to the meaning of the Constitution and the laws, not according to some ideology in their own mind. The good news is not only that the president is doing this, but that he has been able in this first year of his presidency to have more of his judicial nominees confirmed than any other president in American history. We're making tremendous progress. But getting back to what Mr. Gingrich said, it's not enough to have one term of a president doing this. It's not even enough to have 2 terms of a president doing this. We have to have at least 4 consecutive presidential administrations where we're moving the country in the same direction ideologically. When we keep switching back and forth from a pro-life administration to a pro-abortion administration, back to a pro-life administration, from one that respects religious freedom to one that doesn't, to back again to one that does, the nation is not stabilizing. The court system is not stabilizing in the direction of where we need it to be. In fact, in the direction of the principles on which it was founded in the first place. Through Judeo-Christian, biblically rooted, historic Christian principles that this nation was built on. What I'm presenting to you, in other words, is a vision and a challenge. We did a great thing in 2016, bringing into office so many solidly principled Americans who believe as we do about fundamental rights like life. But we've got to keep it up. We've got to keep it up in this midterm election. We've got to keep it up in the next presidential election. We need at least 4 consecutive administrations that are going to be moving us in the same direction. Can you take that vision to heart? Can you join with us in helping to make it happen? Can we come together and speak clearly about the things that need to be done in our government, starting with the protection of the weakest and most vulnerable human beings, the children yet in the womb? Well, as you know, brothers and sisters, we are going to help you to do this. We are going to help countless people to do this with the various projects and programs that we have focused on political responsibility. And where can you find all that? politicalresponsibility.com. I offer to you that website today to go to remember, to talk about, to spread. Politicalresponsibility.com is where you can sign up to be an activist together with us in building a culture of life. Not only through the churches, not only through our personal witness, but through the voting booth. The task is before us. The opportunity is here. Let us together, as believers and as Americans, make it happen. So once again, I'm happy to be speaking to you from our new studio here in Florida with this new equipment that's enabling us to broadcast simultaneously to many different platforms on social media. We rely on you, however, just as much as we rely on our equipment to be able to spread this message to everybody that you know. I look forward to joining you in the days to come. This is Father Frank Pavone of Priests for Life. God bless you all.